guys. Oh my gosh. What a week. What a week. And that's why we didn't have an episode on Monday. And, because I couldn't do a reaction video to this whole DNC because it would have just been me crying the whole time. So I'd rather I wouldn't want to subject you guys to that. But I'm so excited. By the way, I'm Eric Esteban, and this is Miscellaneous and Brown, the DNC reaction video, not reaction, but recap, because we have an official physical recap. That's right. Our co-host, Chris Mayo Mateo at Instagram. Y'all better follow this guy because he was the delegate, the dignitary, the diplomat. I'm trying to think of other D words that are good. No, but the diplomat. He was our delegate for Miscellaneous and Brown and Philams for Harris, live in Chicago, my hometown. I miss my hometown so much, but he was live in Chicago and is still in Chicago right now. He flies out and comes back to Cali tonight, but we are here now for you, Chris, live, fresh from the DNC. He was there every night of the 4 with the pictures and the selfies to show for it. We'll talk about it. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, diplomat and chief of Miscellaneous and Brown, Chris Mateo. Oh, look at that. He got the sign from the floor. Look at that, for our future.
Oh,
Chris.
Yeah. And then
he even got the shirt change. Oh, boom.
What's up? What's up?
Bro. How you feeling?
I'm tired, but I'm so psyched for everything. And I'm just like, everything is just, everyone just keeps saying it's so electric. And I'm like, no one's going to be like boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie. No? Okay. All right. Well, we're all electric. It's charged up, ready to go. When we fight, we win. Just everyone's chanting that, like people walking to McDonald's saying that. It's amazing. But to have it in Chicago, your hometown, so much. But let's stay on track. Let's
all right. Let's start with day one. Start with day one. Shout out to my new job. You see what happens when you wait tables? You see, I sliced I grabbed a bar. Well, I mean, I might as well explain it because people are gonna be like, what the hell's wrong with Eric's? I sliced my hand grabbing a glass. I grabbed the pint glass and it shattered in my hand. But I'm good. Don't trip. That's just bartending. It's no big deal. You know what? And just like Kamala said, a hard day's work, it is a good thing. It's a good thing. So I'm not mad at it. I looked at my hands yesterday and I was like, you know what? I'm cool with that. It's good. But anyway, I digress. It's not about me today. It's not about my hand. I just wanted to justify the big ass bandage that I just showed on the camera. But bro, day one, Biden, but not even Biden, all the speakers, AOC, who else was on day one? I mean, was Hillary day one or Hillary day two?
Hillary was
day one.
Hillary was day one. Was there. To be honest, I didn't get there on time. And let me explain kind of, let me rewind and I'll go through whatever you want in terms of every day. But day one was interesting because I landed on day one. I landed there and I left Sacramento like 5 a.m. and then got to Chicago around noon. My good friend from high school lives out there. Shout out to Alvin Marquez, my boy since high school. So he picked me up, but I didn't get there till 12. And the way it works for, at least with the California delegates, I'm sure this works for the other ones. There's a window of time that you have to pick up your credentials. And if you're not there to pick it up at this time, you forfeit it for the day. Safety reasons, I understand, but I definitely got there like at least 2 hours after the deadline. And so I knew this and I was like, okay, I'm not going to plan to do this, but there's so much to do here. There are parties, watch parties, meetings, events, so many, groups are hosting things. And so I was like, I'm going to be busy enough. So hung out with Alvin for a bit. And I was like, okay, let me invite him to this event. So Mark Polito, shout out to Mark Polito, former mayor of Cerritos. He hosted this he called it National Family Gathering, and I knew what it was, but it didn't say so on the invitation. And so this is a pretty big deal to start this off. He invited a whole bunch of folks, some important people, and me. And so I was like, okay, can I bring a guest? He's like, yeah, for sure. Is it your wife? I was like, no, she can't make it, but I want to bring my friend who lives nearby. He's like, yeah, for sure, bring him. So we put on our blazers, and we're like, just in case, it's going to be semi fancy and fun. And we see all these elected officials. We got Mona Pasquille inviting him, so I was able to say hi to her. We got Bobby Scott, who's the only congressional member with Filipino heritage. We got like folks from all over the place. We got Genevieve Mina from Alaska. She's Filipino, introduced him. So I'm like, oh, who are all these people? Like, this is great. Like, I know he knows all these folks, but what's kind of the point? And I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, I kind of knew, but I was like, he's like, you'll know when you see it. And so all these electeds come through. Everyone's talking about their history with Mark. They're talking about Filipino Americans for Harris, Filipino American delegates coming through for the DNC for how many years since Obama. And he gets up there and he's just like, I'm so grateful. He's just like such a good speaker, talking about his time, our history, the Manongs that came before us. And then he just lays it out, right? We're just like, what's the news, Mark? And he's like, I'm running for assembly in 2026. And y'all need to be behind me. We're going to make this happen. I'm going to take you along with me. This is a community thing. I love you, my brothers and sisters. We're going to make this happen. But this is a place I wanted to announce it. In the middle of all these Filipino delegates, these Filipino elected officials that have come before him, people running now, it was just like, what better way to start off this already historic week for me than to be with my high school friend, going to this party with a bunch of people that I know, I don't know, I've heard of, but just like this energy. And then to Mark to just break this down for us, right? I was like, wow, like, does it get better than this? In my head, like, I didn't want to plan too far ahead, but I'm like, does it get better than this? This is just such a moment. And as we go along, I'll share with you, it just got better from there.
So, nothing that was your day one.
That was just day one. And
see,
it was amazing. So,
but that right there, I mean, you got Mark Polito, and he's about to announce his run for state assembly in California. And you've had a long history with this cat, so that's an incredible story, and it's just day one.
That's just day one.
I mean, I can't even, I'm here in Cali, but I have a certain affinity to Chicago to a degree, almost a connection, I would say, almost, and I've almost. It's hard for me to say this, but it's almost like a psychic connection to that city, to the point where like I feel everything that's happening in that city too much because I love that city so much, so I empathize with it so much, and I could feel the energy of Chicago. It was electric, from watching the Colbert Show and the Daily Show that were live in Chicago, and and then of course the DNC from day one all the way through. I mean, my favorite moment from the night, since you just watched the coverage with me for day one, right? So like my favorite moment of the night was the lock him up chants and how Hillary was trying to go on with her speech, but then she was like, you know what? I've earned this. Let me enjoy this just a little bit. That they're about to lock this felon up.
Actual felon,
But at the same time, every time the lock him up chants came up, they were dealt with class and grace and a certain patriotic confidence that we're on the right side of history. So it was like, we don't even have to worry about that. We'll deal with this minor criminal once we've dealt with him as a candidate, kind of thing. Well, let's beat him first, and then the courts can deal with that, which is what Kamala said when the lock him up chance came up with her. But
and it's just easier because the whole vibe for that was just being around, and they handle it with grace and it's all good, but it's just part of the messaging where it's like, look, we know you're a convict, lock him up and stuff. It's like, who better to take care of this than a freaking prosecutor? It's like,
nobody. And I gotta say, her speech. I know we're jumping around, but because I'm just fresh from it. We just listened to it last night, and also, her speech pretty much outlined and highlighted the perfect case against him, including the fact that, let's just be honest, man, nobody has been stressing January 6th, and it's disqualifying for me. Like that part of it, January 6th, and the insurrection that he inspired and coaxed is disqualifying. And she highlighted that and then put it in and said she wants violent insurgent, or what was it? I can't remember the word. I think it was violent insurrectionists. I can't remember what the term was, but there was almost an othering in the way that, they like to other us because we're immigrants and because, we're poisoning the blood of the country or whatever other rhetoric he wants to steal from Hitler, but it was the othering of them because of their mindset and their craziness. She said these guys are out of their mind. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome.
It was awesome, and I will comment that it was also hard to hear because it was spread out throughout some of. I don't know what was televised, but obviously being there throughout the 3 nights.
Oh, I watched the feed, homie. I watched I watched the feed. I didn't watch any. I watched day one, the first coverage of NBC. There was a little bit of like commentary right before it started, and Chuck Todd was talking, and I was like, nah, I got to turn this shit off. I'm just gonna go with the live feed. Shout out to NBC. I don't like Chuck Todd. Okay, let's just put it that way. All right. Anyway.
Regarding January 6th, it was hard because spread out as again, as you know, because you watched it, but we had the actual officers that were there on January 6th. We had people that experienced it. We had other law enforcement throughout the country that was like, our brothers and sisters out there were disrespected. They were hurt because these fools were just like, we're going to do this to the Capitol and raid it. It's like, who the hell are you? And then last night, the brother of someone who died during that.
Officer Sicknick, the guy who died a couple of days afterwards. Yeah.
Yes. And
that was oh, it was. You know what else was hard to watch? Not hard to watch. I shouldn't say that. It wasn't hard to watch. For me, it was all the stuff about all the women who've had to go through what they've had to go through since Roe v. Wade has been overturned. And the Dobbs, since the Dobbs decision, like that young blonde, I can't remember her name, but I think Cassidy was her name, but the one who was by her stepfather and the whole thing, and how powerful she was. And then she was able to bring on Bashir. Like she was like, okay, well, here's my story. And then here's the governor, la, la, la. And I was like, oh my God, the strength and power and just fortitude that this woman displays by sharing her story and then just flipping it. And because I know how hard that is. I'm a host. I know that. And she was doing it in the United Center in Chicago in front of the whole country. It was amazing. And when I say hard to watch, I mean, it's hard to hear. Even the victims from last night, the shooting victims, and the mother from Uvalde, and the teacher from
the way she explained it, I was like,
and they should. I've been in those trainings. Ending on the line, they should be here. Oh, yeah. I'm getting goosebumps now from it. But that's like it was. But then anyway. We've digressed because we're so excited. There's too much. But day one. So what was your favorite moment from day one?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, besides, for me, again, my mind was the Hillary smiling and nodding to the lock him up. It was almost like she was,
Of course.
Yes, I know. Okay. Okay, I can't enjoy this too much. Okay, I'm gonna go. I gotta finish my speech.
Yes.
That was my favorite moment.
Yeah, no, Hillary was awesome. Jill and Joe going up there was amazing, incredible. But for me personally, and like I do want to highlight, like in terms of the full experience, and people can see and feel like what they watched. But I'll share my take with Monday. And this, and the reason I do this, and the reason I reached out to you, I'll share that I was hesitant to go at first. I will admit this. Like way back when, I knew I was going to be. I'm part of the credentialing committee for the DNC. That's how I got my pass in the first place. Coordinated that with some of my mentors from Filipino Americans for Harris, but I've been on this journey to be this comedy writer again, to make people laugh in some way. But I want to be ready. I want to like just be like follow your footsteps and do what I need to do. And I was like, am I straying from that? Am I like getting away from this? Am I going back to politics? Which, God bless it. Like I fell into this career, fortunately to work for my family and do what I need to do. Right. But then I was like, why am I here? Like I should be, doing improv too right now. I should be writing my sitcom notes. I should be doing, and to be fair, I have my comedy log and I write the stuff. And my watch party where I saw the actual thing for Monday night was the APIA vote. They had a watch party at the Marriott. I think it was a Marriott Marquis. So I went up there. It was a lot of people, a lot of food, drinks. People from the convention were coming by afterward, and it was nice. I met people, and on my way out, I was like, oh, I need to just go rest. Out comes one of the chairs of the Filipino Americans for Harris, Genevieve Japonda. Shout out to her because she got me involved with a lot of local California stuff. Filipino, the Democratic Caucus for California. She comes out with these two guys. I can't see them; it's dark, and I'm like walking out with Jerry Aglipe, who's she was the Midwest director for our team in 2020. Now she's a Biden appointee for the Midwest for a small business association. And we were walking out. I was like, oh, let's just all leave. Like her husband was like, yeah, let's go. I'm tired. And here comes Genevieve with these two guys. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have the energy to meet anybody. Like I'm an introvert. And like I've my social battery has run out. I need to recharge it. And these two guys come up. I'm like, oh hi. This guy says, I'm Dan. I'm like, oh, very cool. Nice to meet you. Suited up, cool guy. And this other guy is like, oh, how's it going, bro? I'm Rex. I'm like, you look familiar. And he's oh yeah, I do stand up. I'm like, no, you don't just do stand up. You were my Filipino, like you were the one that my
you
friends
talking about
and I,
Rex Navarrete, right?
This is Rex.
So you finally got to meet him in person.
It was awesome. It was one of those moments where, again, I was just like hesitant. I was like, should I belong here? I had imposter syndrome. I was like, why am I here? I was trying to pull myself away from this. But like Godfather 3, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. And one of those things. And I see him like, no. This is one of those moments where I was like, I gotta live this up. I gotta talk to him. I gotta I'm fanboying right now, but I gotta keep it cool because like I'm around all these other people that's like, and they all walked away after we did our intros, and it was just me and him, and I was able to just like, this is my story. This is my journey right now. This is an intro part, and you were part of that story because you were the first one when I was in high school to let me know, hey, Filipino stand-up is real. Filipino comedy is real. We appreciate our culture because of him. We're not making fun of it, but we're letting the world know, hey, this is who we are. We're funny. You got to know this. And he's paving the way for a lot of folks. And, shout out to you, obviously, for so much stuff that you've already done for me and all that. But like when I think of you, I think of him and vice versa. And so, mentioned you to him. And he's like, yeah, Eric and I did this thing back in 2020. I was like, yeah, I was producing that a little bit for you guys, but I was like, you don't remember me. No, I was just like a little thing on the screen. But
no, you were the one who put that shit together, bro. You were and I'm glad you were able to finally meet him. And we basically had the same conversation when we met, because he is a legend in Filipino American and it for Filipino American comics, it's almost a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Especially in the past 20 years, for all of us who are coming up, you remember when you met Rex, or if you've done a show with Rex, or if you know what I'm saying, you know, like it just because Rex he was one of the first, and then you got Ron Jossel, and you got Edwin San Juan, and you got all these other cats, and it's amazing to look up and see how many legends we actually have, and it's pretty incredible. Besides Joe Coy, and not to take anything away from Joe, but what I'm going to say to you is this. I wanted to stop you right from the jump when you were talking about going back to politics and all that, because comedy, and this is the only lesson because I'm trying to put together a curriculum, because my homie Marshall Givens is asking me to start teaching stand-up comedy class, which I'm very happy and excited to do.
That's so awesome.
But the first thing about comedy is our job as comedians and as writers is to comment on life, is to comment on experience, is to comment and tell stories of our life, so as people can empathize with our experience, but then juxtapose it onto their own experience, right? You have to live life. You have to experience those things. So if that means it's through a political lens, where you're working in that political, because you need a means to an end.
Yeah.
If this cut taught me anything on my hand, I've been doing this now for over 20 years, and you need something to pay the bills until the craft and the art and the love and the dreams pay the bills.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it takes a while for those dreams to pay the bills. And sometimes those dreams never pay the bills, but you need something to pay the bills. And you've got a pretty good gig to pay the bills, because you got a lot of cool experiences from day one. You met your homie Ron Polito announced his run for state assembly, and then you get to meet one of your comedic heroes. If that's not the universe, God, whatever higher power you believe, telling you you're on the right road, then I'm gonna tell you, you're on the right road, homie. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
So now we got to go to day 2.
We got to go to day 2.
And
day 2.
We don't really need to say much about day 2, man. It's like. I gotta get when you say Barack Obama is the Michael Jordan of politics. Barack Obama is the Michael Jordan of politics. Like, the ease in which he just eviscerated Trump, but also ignited the crowd. I mean, and then I mean, Madam Michelle Obama, the forever first lady, the forever FLOTUS for me. I just, does he even know that he might be the job he's trying to seek is one of them black jobs? Oh, my drop. I just posted on my Instagram. Oh, wait, you know what? That is one video that I can show, because I just uploaded it. Okay. And it is it's hilarious, because the internet, and that's one thing that I want to comment on, and how brilliantly this campaign up and down has used content creators and influencers for free. It's basically free advertising for them as a campaign, because it's all positive towards the campaign. Like, for instance, whoa, why was that picture up there?
No.
We know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this.
That's Meet the Grams.
For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be Black.
Oh man, did you say that already?
I posted it already.
Okay, I gotta share that.
Tell me again that the Kendrick Lamar Drake battle didn't affect culture. That when Not Like Us was playing in the background of that California roll call. Oh my God, can I say that roll call?
That was awesome.
I have never. I acted like it was like a football game. That roll call.
That was, oh my God. Yeah, we got to get on that. I got to talk about that a little bit because that was just.
Were you there for that? Were you there in person
for
the roll call?
I was there for that. Yeah, that took up most of the time there. And I was like, oh no, this is the roll call. I remember how this goes every year, but to be there and to see every state, the state pride, the music that they chose, and someone on Instagram had fun with this, where they're like, that DJ had to get permission for each and every one of these songs to play. And it's like, wait, these are all like top 10 Billboard hits for every state going up there. And they all said, yes, take my song, put it out there. Whereas Trump's trying to play, like something by whomever. Like
Trump can't even play The Heart Will Go On and depress his followers.
Yeah, no.
Every artist has said, no, stop playing my music.
No, can't play this.
Yeah. All he can get is Kid Rock.
Yeah, he can get Kid Rock and anything that's in public domain, just whatever, just like whatever. And
whatever public domain song, and then whatever his jailed choir singers will do.
Yeah, you got like Despacito for Puerto Rico, and then I got excited because I was like, Atlanta's gonna have something, and so they had Welcome
You
to
had
Atlanta.
Little John in person for Georgia, man.
That was nuts. I mean, I was texting my family. I was like, hey, look, Atlanta's coming up. And my son's like, oh, what song are they playing? I'm like, oh, it's Ludacris. And I was like, wait, hold on. He goes, what happened? I was like, they played Ludacris the intro, but Little John is here walking down just like we're about to announce how many people are actually voting for Kamala Harris. And he's like, we're not going back. And everyone's chanting.
What? Oh, my God, dude. I was so hyped.
Oh
it was
God.
so awesome.
And then you'll appreciate this. But when Indiana was introducing, you saw this. You have Sean Astin peeking through. It's like, oh, he's going to talk.
Oh, yes. And then the Rudy chants.
Rudy chant for like a minute. I was like, this is awesome. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And people were already saying,
I'll say this, man. I realized that I was a Californian because we've been here over 20 years almost. Yeah. And when California came on and Gavin Newsom's booming voice, he may have messed up with some cannabis stuff, but I still love Gavin Newsom. He's still a great communicator. And man, with the music and the California love, and I was like, ah! And then homie started playing Not Like Us in the background.
Yes.
And I was up there. Oh, it was amazing, man. I've never and obviously no one has ever experienced a roll call. Like they called him DJ Cat, the musical maestro for the roll call. And I think from now on, the DNC is going to have a musical maestro in their roll call because, man, that was awesome. And then the stagecraft and production level of doing that incredible roll call and then cutting to another sold out arena, the same arena that the RNC was in, and it was packed with Kamala Harris wall supporters with Kamala and Walz on the same, just simultaneously, two different arenas, not but few miles apart because Milwaukee's not too far from Chicago, but oh my God. Oh my God. Just incredible. Like just incredible. It was like when Walz and Harris got on stage and the freedom, it was almost like Avengers Assemble at Endgame.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. What all the different all the different roll call and all the states and the different Native American people speaking in their language, in the native languages, and all the different everything, all the different cultures, and even the island countries and the territories and Puerto Rico, and all of it was just such a wonderful. I mean, and look at how beautiful it is when it. Look at what DEI can do.
Northern Mariana, when they announced, I don't know if you remember, but they're like, y'all want to talk about a blue wave? We're the blue wave for this in the Pacific Ocean.
We know stuff about blue waves, guys.
Yeah, we got blue waves. You want blue waves. And then just a real touching on a couple of things I just needed to know with some of the music I really appreciate. Not a big thing, but for me personally, because I love these two, but what they had for Nevada, they had the Killers play Mr. Brightside. That was pretty awesome. And then for Pennsylvania, if you remember Motown Philly.
Oh yeah.
Boys playing that. I was like, okay. Yeah, this guy's good.
I did the choreography because I still remember it from the 90s. Motown Philly. I did it ugly. I'm not a good dancer. I'm about as good a dancer as that Australian lady. But
better.
Yeah, I am. I'm better. I am better than that lady. I'm not gonna give her anything. No, she manipulated the choosing process in Australia to make sure that she was on the team. The ultimate in entitlement and privilege. Get out of here. Get out of here, Ray Gunn. Let's not talk about her. Okay. Yep. So the highlights, obviously, of day 2 were the roll call into, that obvious, beautiful sold out arena in Wisconsin and Harrison Walsh just looking presidential as hell. And then you got the Obamas. I mean, day 2 was, I'm a little partial. Obama is my Jordan of politics, and I don't even know what Michelle is. I mean, Michelle.
You got the Jordan of politics, and then whoever's better than Jordan, you got Michelle.
He said whoever's better than Jordan. No, but for real, like Michelle is like the Oprah of politics. But I Oprah, like you could see how much more influence and how much more people love Michelle. And I'm not saying that there's a competition between her and Oprah, but like Oprah spoke on day 3. Was that right? 3. Am I right? Yeah, Oprah spoke on day 3 and everybody loved her, man. Kamala Harris and all that. I loved it. But everybody from after Michelle spoke was quoting Michelle talking about let's do something. Like I almost wanted, I wore my Shirley Chisholm t-shirt today in honor of Shirley Chisholm because it really all started with her bravery. And you guys should really, if you guys don't know about Shirley Chisholm, there's a movie starring Regina King on Prime. If you have Prime, you can watch it. And it's the Chisholm story. Oh, it's so good. And it tells you a lot of story about the first Black woman to ever run for president, and her. It's such a good story. And then when you juxtapose it to our current situation and how we're about to elect the first Black and South Asian woman as president, it's pretty amazing because she looked damn presidential. She looked damn presidential. I'm not. She was Madam President. She looked like Madam President.
Yeah. Let's all follow Barack because he's the president and stuff. But then let's follow Michelle because she's Michelle, right? It was one of those things. Like,
Michelle is just Michelle.
Yeah, let's follow Barack because he made it. He's our guy. 2 terms, and then she got up there was like, I'm gonna just follow you. Like, you don't have to be president. You just tell me what to do, Michelle. And then she was like, hey, America. What was her quote? America. Hope is making a comeback. I'm like, yeah, because you're up here and you're
up here talking about us, talking about it. Yeah. No, but I gotta say, I have to not to say that I did not. It's not a competition, right? I love them both, but stand-up comedian Obama. I think Seth Meyer calls him stand-up Obama. That he's my favorite Obama, and that's we get more stand-up Obama. Now after his presidency than we get during his presidency. And like, with the crowd sizes and the look, that brilliant, just that half second look down and look back up and continue. You know what I'm saying? I would be remiss as a comedian if I did not give a nod to the brilliance of that joke, the delivery, everything. It's eloquence. It's powerful. It's just chef's kiss of a dick joke, baby. Chef's kiss. And Trump was seething because he was watching, and that to me was the most enticing part of the whole thing was, what is Trump saying, thinking, feeling right now?
Yeah.
You want to see a birth certificate, bitch? Here you go. It's right here. Oh, man. Oh, God. So good.
And then two other highlights for that night, for me at least.
Yes.
It was a surprise, but Bernie. I love Bernie so much. He got up there. I was like,
man.
Oh, just this.
But how big tent the Democratic Party is, because you had Bernie, and then you had my favorite billionaire and governor of my home state, Pritzker.
Yes.
So the fact that you had Bernie and then you had a billionaire, that's how big tent the Democratic Party is. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. What did he say? He's like, let me show Trump what a real billionaire looks like. So Bernie was
like, because what a benevolent billionaire Pritzker is. I mean, come on, like all the stuff he's done, but also, I mean, anyway, we can talk about it. So day 3.
And then,
Oh no, go ahead. You're still day 2. Tell me day 2.
Oh no, the last thing was just with Doug. The first gentleman to be. That guy's just awesome. He's cool. He's calm. His family comes first, and that guy's just amazing. Yeah,
being real, there's a lot of men like Doug and myself who are super proud and super happy for our way more successful wives.
Oh, yeah. No, me too.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. I think you're in the same boat. There are a lot of people. And shout out to Doug Emhoff for showing, how a supportive spouse can be. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm even looking back at myself and saying how much more supportive can I be to my wife because of look at him, man. He's his biggest he's her biggest cheerleader. And then even the cuts to his reactions to her speech, he's in it and he loves every word of it, and you see how much he loves her, and you see how much he believes in everything she's doing, and also how lucky he is because he alluded to that in the speech, how he's just a lucky dude.
I love that line. He goes, shout out to my mom who's here, who's the only one in the world who's going to say that Kamala is the lucky one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. That was
so
good.
Brilliant. So brilliant. So now we got to get to the walls of it all. Yes. Day 3.
Yes.
Day 3. I got to say, man, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Tim Walz is my coach. He reminds me of every coach that I admired and learned stuff from growing up as a kid, because there isn't like one coach who's like Coach Walz. It's like a little bit from this coach, a little bit from this coach, a little bit from this coach, and then you get this perfect coach who's
super coach
Walz.
Yeah.
And he's just as, I mean, can you imagine a public school teacher, 24-year veteran of the National Guard?
Yeah.
And then governor of the state of Minnesota, who gave free lunch to all the kids in all the public schools. My kids are in public school. I know how much free lunch means, but I also know how much it means because I went to public school as well, and how when there's a distinction and there's like a thing on your ID where you get free school lunch because your family's poor, and there's that distinction, and it's something that almost programs you as a child to think you're always poor and you're different from the people who have money. And I love that he gave a universal lunch so that no kid ever had to feel that ever again. Because I saw that in kids' faces when I was a kid. The kids who didn't have much, and they were able to get free lunch, but there was a distinction. It's horrible, and food should not be a thing that makes people feel bad about themselves. Food should be a thing that nourishes us, and that's exactly. They want to ban books. We ban hunger and starvation from our kids. I mean, that's you want to talk about a difference in and a real implementation of the teachings of Jesus and the Bible and the golden rule.
Yeah,
that's it right there.
Real family values.
Yeah, come on.
And I will say, I posted this earlier. Sorry to cut you off, but
no, go ahead, man.
Walls is just, for everything that he is as a dad. Like, yeah, we got the dad jokes going. We got, like, he's so down to earth. He's the one who's going to barbecue for you. He's the one dressing like this. He's getting his wardrobe from, like, from Kohl's, all these other things. That's great. But when they announced him and I learned a little bit more, it was just one of those moments where I was like, if my dad were still here, this guy just, like, he'd have his vote instantly. Because, like, my dad was served in the Navy. And then after the Navy, he could have just easily retired and been like, oh, let's go travel the world. No, he specifically became a school teacher for second language learners, because these are the kids who he knew they may not know English first, but they know 4 or 5 languages that you don't, and they're still being shunned. They're still being othered. I'm going to take care of them because I know 3 languages, and I'm going to make sure that you guys succeed. Because he could have called it quits and be like, I'm going to just go to Hawaii or whatever. He's like, no, I'm going to keep teaching until they tell me not to teach anymore. And when I saw Tim Walz and what he's done, like, that's my dad. That's my dad. And
the fact that he was the football coach and the coordinator for the LGBTQ Alliance,
yes, yeah, he was
our club in the school. I mean, you want to talk about a good man and a protector of his students. I mean, you had his football team, there with their old jerseys on.
Oh yeah,
that was so nice. I mean, amazing. You want to talk Americana? You want to talk America? Midwest football coach with his state champions all in their middle age, still celebrating their championship and loving their coach. Come on, man. And we got to talk about it because it was the most touching portion of the night for me. It instantly brought me tears in my eyes, which is why I could never do a reaction video to the DNC, because I am so emotionally invested in all these things. But when they cut to Gus Walz, and tears in his eyes, screaming, "That's my dad." Oh, so touching, but also I instantly know why I love having daughters versus sons, because sons like me and Gus will act the fool and be like, "Oh my God, I love you, my dad," and the daughters will be like, "Yep, that's good. Sit down, please, be quiet." Because the Hope Waltz was just like, "Yeah, we know he's your dad. He's my dad too. Can you chill out, okay?
Calm down, Gus.
Calm down. You okay?" No, but that whole family, man, that whole family. I love that family. It's such a beautiful family. The video of them at the fair where, the turkey, I'm vegetarian. Well, then you'll have turkey. That's turkey. Then that's vegetarian in Minnesota, and all the just heartwarming, beautiful, and a great, simple communicator who can just breaks it down into simple terms. Everything from the way he attacks Vance and Trump to what they're going to do with the next 4 years. I mean, he's just a great communicator. As a teacher, as I'm sure as a sergeant major, I think was his rank in the National Guard. Like, you got to be a great communicator to do that. So yeah, I mean, just great. And man, and then now we got day 4.
Let me
or do you have any more from day 3 that you wanted to mention?
There's quite a bit for day 3. 2 major things. The first is
let me know.
The convention part is speaking of dads, my dad specifically, I got a chance to get on the floor. I don't know if you saw the pictures, but the rest of the time,
picture.
My pictures. I was in like the nosebleed.
You had Bill Clinton in the background, and you said your dad would have been so proud of you because that was Bill Clinton who got him into politics. I read it, bro. I've been following. I've been FOMOing your Instagram feed the whole damn time. What are you talking about?
That was on another level, because I can't say how I got on the floor. I'll tell you later, but on here I can't say how I got on. But when I did, it was just one of those things where like, okay, Chris, like here it is. Most people that were giving this to have 5 minutes. We're going to give you 10. I was like, no, I don't need 10. Like, just give me 5. Like, no, this is going to be special for you. Cause I didn't look on the monitor. I was just ready to go. Like, get on the floor right now. Got on. It was Bill. I was like, oh man. And I was just like thinking my dad, I was like, you timed this just right. Thank you so much. Like, this is awesome. And so he was like right behind me. I couldn't get through. You saw the picture. Like, he was that far.
No, bro, you had a perfect. It was perfect.
It was just too crowded.
Come on, man.
So that was amazing. That was like my highlight. But that night,
that's something you'll tell your grandkids, bro. That's a story you'll tell your grandkids.
Yeah, no, they'll love it. Yeah. But the other thing about day 3 was the Filipino Americans for Harris. Well, we had our celebration night, and it was like right after. It was awesome. I mean, we got Rob Bonta kicking things off. Rex was there. Apple to App, he got sick, and so he just sent a message, but that was still cool. We had DJ Rex spinning. We had food there. Just a lot of electeds came through to talk. You know, Erica Mosca was MC from Nevada. We had Abby Eusebio, who's our Midwest person who, you know, you guys have that connection
on with us, bro. That's my god sister. My parents are her parents are her godparents for her wedding. So yeah. No, I Abby, I'm so proud of Abby. But I'm also when you shared that flyer with me, and you know, the FOMO was like, ha ha. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I would be emceeing that. I would be there.
Easily.
But you know, I mean, I'm so happy that it went well. I'm so happy that you guys had such a great celebration. And so that was day 3. That was day 3 where you had that. And Rex there? Did he perform?
He did. Yeah, he closed us out. It was a great way to do it. We were running low on time, but like the fact that he was our highlight. People loved it. They came up, said hi to him. Jose Antonio Vargas was there. He spoke for a little bit. He's for those who don't know, author, journalist, activist. You know,
read his books, guys. Read his books.
Seriously. He has one coming out next year. Keep an eye out for them one next year. He gave us a little preview, but it's just that's going to be dope. So that was the way that
was a brilliant writer, man. He's a brilliant writer. He's our generation's Jose Rizal or you know or any one of our other great writers. I'm trying to think of other names, but they're escaping me right now. But he's one of our there you go, Carlos Bulosan. He's one of our great writers. You know,
easily.
He really is. I was impressed by when you met. And when did you meet Justin from Tennessee?
Oh, last night. It was like right after everything. I snuck on the floor again and then saw him and he's like, "Oh, come by." I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah." And he got pulled left and right. I gave him a button.
For those that don't know, give the whole layout and tell about who he is.
Yeah, so Justin Jones is our guy in Tennessee. He's our Filipino representative over there. Caused a little bit of a ruckus a couple of years ago, but he's just been on the spotlight and love the guy. He was just great and really nice, walking around like he didn't have to stay there, but he was taking pictures with folks, the Philams folks. He was getting pulled left and right when I met him, and I talked to the lady he was with, and I just assumed, I was like, oh, it's a relative or it's his mom. And then he came back and he's like, "Oh, you're chatting with my Lola?" I'm like, "This is your Lola? She looks old enough to be like my mom." But then I had to remind myself, no, this guy's young. He's got huge things ahead of him. Representing
He's the future.
He's the future. And for him to be there and get interviewed, I think he was on CNN. I think he posted on his thing, but look him up on his Instagram. He has his video on there, but that kid he's cool. He's so cool. And but his Lola is even cooler because she's like, "Can I have one of those buttons for my my friend?" I'm like, take all you want. She goes, "Is this your last one?" I was like, nah, I made this. Like, I can get more. Just take whatever you want. Just you're doing the Lord's work and helping out your stuff and in Tennessee, no less. So that's awesome. But he is, shout out. He is a California boy. So.
But don't sleep on Tennessee, man. This ground game that they are implementing, this national ground game of the DNC and this whole DNC from top to bottom, day 1 to day 4. Come on, guys, compare. Compare and contrast the RNC and Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock and the ridiculous basically 80s nonsense. Like it's like whatever the 80s vomited out was the RNC versus this inclusive, beautiful picture and portrait of America, and it's the most beautiful and extensive story ever told, in the words of our soon-to-be Madam President, right? Just amazing. So what was yesterday like? What was the last day like? And yeah, let me know. Because you met Justin Jones, which that was at the end of your night, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the Filipino American heroes in politics right now. As far as what was what was the whole night like? Because it was powerful night from the victims of gun violence to the people who have been, from the people who've been subjected to all the different stipulations and craziness of the Dobbs decision. I mean, it was really powerful, touching night. There were moments where I was watching and like the mother from Uvalde, especially, for like really just hit me hard. But like
there's a lot of those moments.
Just last night was a powerful night, and then for me, my favorite part. Go ahead.
Oh, Gabby Giffords being up there.
Come on, man.
I was so happy to see her, but also like to recount that, and for Mark to be up there with her. It was just like when that happened to her, like I was just crushed. But for her to make it through, and then to see her on stage and live, I was like, oh man, I can't. I was good at holding back some tears, but seeing her, I was like, oh, it was just like,
no. But JD Vance talks about family and how much he loves family and kids and all this stuff. Where was all this love of family at the RNC? Straight up. You want to talk about, look at the love between Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. Look at the love between Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris. Look at the love between Jill Biden and Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Okay. And then look at Trump not even kissing his daughter, Tiffany, like brushing her off at the RNC. And then, looking at how he looks at Ivanka. And then also like, his wife wasn't even there because obviously, he's already been guilty of the porn star stuff. So like, why would she be there? Like, there's no love in that campaign. There's no love in that family. It's a family of grievance. It's a family of complainers and a what about me and basically narcissist.
Yeah, what's in it for me.
And what I loved most about Kamala's speech was that she highlighted the disqualifying factor of January 6th. I don't know why people aren't talking about this more than, I mean, this man led a violent insurrection into the Capitol and tried to kill his vice president and Nancy Pelosi and any other leader that they could probably get their fucking grubby hands on. That should be disqualifying. That is called being a traitor to our democracy.
Yeah, exactly.
You are a traitor to our democracy. The moment you step foot in anger on the Capitol grounds.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, this is your country. This is your country. And what are you doing to it? And the people who are supposed to lead it. You're a traitor.
You're a traitor.
Yeah.
And then now you add on the fact that he's convicted of 34 counts of fraud and he's an adjudicated rapist. What are we even talking about here? Is there even a choice? There isn't a choice. And I love that she used those terms. She called him a convicted felon. She called him a traitor. She said he wanted to be an autocrat. That's why he admires autocrats, because he wants to be one. That was her line. It was perfect. Yeah. She can prosecute the case against Donald Trump and throw this motherfucker into the dustbin of history where he belongs, because he is a horrible, disgusting footnote is what he will be in the Obama to Biden to Harris legacy of the progressive movement in this country. Obama took us to where he could take us. Biden took us to where he could take us. And now Kamala will move us forward, because she truly is. She showed us last night that she was the heir apparent to all of that legacy and to all those progressive movements. And I don't know, man. I was, like I said, I couldn't do a reaction video because I was crying too much. Too many tears of joy. Too many tears of joy and happiness.
Emotional roller coaster. Just a lot of things going on. So, yeah.
But my favorite all-time line of the DNC has to go to Miss Michelle Obama. And that is the affirmative action of generational wealth. She destroyed affirmative action as in as far as like the opposition to affirmative action in how many affirmative action of generational wealth in 4 words, 5 words. She destroyed any opposition towards affirmative action. Yeah. Because what's more affirmative action than having a silver spoon in your mouth and being born with a golden road paved before you? All you had to do is walk. It's a totally different game than the game that all the rest of us have to play. And it's a pretty brilliant argument for affirmative action in places where we're not allowed, and for DEI. Because, bro, that is my that's going to be my calling cry, because if not for DEI, there would be no Miscellaneous Brown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I'm stupid excited for this next couple of weeks. 75, 74, 73 days. How many more days till the election, bro? You should know.
73. I think we're at
73. So I'm uploading this as soon as we're done. And this will be our Friday episode as the recap of the DNC with our own live correspondent. Look at him. He's still looking at his notes.
I do my final shout out to our Filipino Americans.
No, but we also, before we sign off, we have to talk about the drinking game that if you had played it, we would all be drunk right now. Yeah. And that is how many times we saw our boy Rob Bunta on day 4. They cut away to him dancing to the DJ. They cut away to him clapping to some speeches. And they cut away to him, yes, amening Kamala. I mean, I think a few other times. So if you would have drank every time you saw our Attorney General, the first Filipino American Attorney General of California, Rob Bunta, and you saw him and you took a shot, you'd be suffering from alcohol poisoning tonight. And I would have, because I know I'm a lightweight. But Rob Bunta, talk about it, man. Did you get a chance to hang with him a little bit during the convention?
A little bit. It was just cool because I saw him right before I left. So last Saturday, it was one of his directors in the DOJ is a good friend of mine. It was her birthday on Saturday, so I saw him there briefly, and then we didn't really chat. And then I saw him again at Mark Polito's thing on my way out. Rob was coming in. He's like, "Man, I keep seeing you everywhere." That was the most I really interacted with him during this time. But I see him all the time. But to see him just around and interacting with people, I mean, like, that's who he is. And then he kicked off the Filipino Americans for Biden or for Harris celebration. He was just on it. He's just such a great speaker, has this energy. People love him. He's just like always in touch with his Filipino roots. And so I was happy to see him as often as I did on like being televised and on the prompter and all this other stuff. and he represents the best of us. And so I'm so excited to see him. And I hope nobody played that drinking game, because I hope you're doing well this morning if you did, because that would have been nuts.
No, and it's for me. Okay, I took it a little more personally in that the universe was saying who our next governor here in California was going to be, and how incredible that would be to be a part of that campaign and a part of that situation, because that would be you want to talk about historic. That'd be an incredible thing. And considering, the Attorney General in Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, the Attorney General, who was the guy who was Bashir Attorney General as well, and then I believe, and then the guy who introduced the older Roy Kelly, the governor from North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
He or is it North Carolina? The guy who brought on Kamala last night, the guy who spoke right before Kamala.
Oh, Roy Cooper.
Roy Cooper, another attorney general, become governor. So that's kind of a trend lately, as the attorney generals of these states become governors. So, and Rob, I'm just going to extend the Attorney General Bunta. I'm just going to extend the invitation to you here at Miscellaneous Brown, that if you want to announce anything, you want to say anything special, you want to tell anybody stuff, we are here as support for you. If you want to, maybe do maybe an interview, or you want to say something, like you want to tell people stuff that you want to, a message that you want to tell folks. I'm here. I can MC that event, or you could do it right here on Miscellaneous and Brown. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
Anything you
into
want.
the universe.
Yeah. Like Trump to China, you can do whatever the hell you want. So
look,
I do want to close out with a huge shout out.
Go ahead, guys. Tell me. Give me your shout outs.
First and foremost, I want to start off with we had a final count of 43 delegates, of 43 Filipino delegates that were present at the Democratic National Convention this year. Record breaking, amazing, just a testament to our leadership, the folks across the country that made it a point to invite folks and get here, and seeing like the elected officials across the country. But 43 of us were delegates representing the Filipino community. So shout out to making this happen, to our leadership, to specifically Melissa Ramoso, Genevieve Japonda, and Mario Salazar, who are our co-chairs. We have our OGs, including the Honorable Mark Polito, who made his announcement, our specific senior advisor in him. We got Jocelyn Manalo, former mayor, current city council member of Daly City, who's one of our leadership team and our OGs. We got Arnel Dino from Orange County, like right in your area. We got Jerry Aglipe, who was a former Midwest chair, now an advisor, and definitely did a lot while she was here because she lives nearby. The new Midwest chair, your girl Abby Eusebio, and she did so much being local. We got amazing social media team in Michelle Amore and Angela. They did so much, just all the TikToks that you saw, all the videos, the interviews, the postings, everything was just on it. And so we had so much content. And a lot of the volunteers that I met, so there's so many more. Sorry if I didn't get to meet you, but we got Ryan, Jamie, Ria, Jerry, Camille, Gladdy, Joel, all these folks. And sorry if I forgot your names, but so many people just out there. But number one and first and foremost, our OG, our ate, our manang, my mentor, who I wouldn't be here without her encouragement. But Vita Benavides, who's just been doing these DNCs since '92. She's worked for Clinton. She's paved the way for APIs for decades, and for her to still be here, like she could have just left this behind, retired, and whatever, but she still does this because she loves it and makes it happen for the next generation. So shout out to all of them. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But just this was the team that was here, and was just amazing to see, so historic in many ways. But my experience wouldn't be complete if it wasn't for this. And then last but not least, shout out to my own wife and son, who my wife was the one that booked my flight and hotel and just said, like, you're going. I said, I don't know if I have time. She goes, I've already booked it. And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess I am going. But shout out to all these people.
Shout out to supportive wives, man.
Yeah. We do what we can for them, but it's never good. It pales in comparison to what they do for us and for the world, for our children, for our future, because moms are the ones that make that happen. But yeah, shout out to all those people for allowing me to be here. I never thought I'd get here to even be in that room where it happens. But I'm not taking it for granted, and we are charged up because when we fight, we win, and we're going to make this happen. Thanks to you for giving this platform always, for films, for Harris, for me. And we're gonna just let's get Kamala to where she belongs.
Well, you said it right, moms. You got to give it to the moms. So now we're gonna have, Mamala. America's new Mamala. Let's do it.
Yes,
I've been, I'm always fired up just because I grow my own cannabis. So, but no, but for real, like, I'm always down to. I like this stuff, man. I enjoy fighting and debating and talking about it and hashing things out and figuring stuff out. And I'm just happy to be able to, vicariously live through your experience today. And I can see in your eyes, man, the excitement, so much fun you've had, but also the exhaustion, bro.
No, yeah.
I can see it. It was an exhausting, draining week, but also whatever it drained from you, it probably fortified you and brought you back and inspired you to, when you come home and get this work done. And for me, it's the same thing. I'm putting together some clips, and those Miscellaneous Brown season 1 videos will be coming soon, since there's 10 weeks till the election. So there'll probably be like 10 episodes of, me putting it out there. Plus, with all the second special coming out and October, and because Filipino American history, we about to make a whole bunch of Filipino American history right here at Miscellaneous and Brown. Shout out again to the delegate and chief, the diplomat, our diplomat at the DNC, Chris Mateo, for being out there and working so hard and covering everything. And bro, I'm so proud of you. And know that this is you're on exactly the right path, because we are here. We are doing this. Let's get this job done. Let's get Kamala elected. And then we can live in the America where, we actually have an opportunity and a chance to get ahead instead of just getting by. Because I'm about tired of just getting by, if you know what I'm saying. You see what I did there? You see how I did? It was just like Obama, where I didn't have to say anything, and I just showed my hand, and you got the joke.
Take care of that, man. That's a big bandage.
It's a big cut, but whatever. I'm tough. I'm tough. Please, somebody sponsor this podcast so I can stop bartending, please.
He's hurting himself. He's hurting himself for you.
Oh, guys. But man, again, thank you again for covering it. Get back home soon, but get some rest. Chill out. Enjoy your afternoon in Chicago. Take a stroll. Breathe in that beautiful Chicago air and kiss the ground for me. And I will see you Monday. Are you gonna be back in Cali on Monday?
Yes, I definitely.
So we'll do an episode on Monday. Another one. We'll go live. But I'm also gonna try and get Michelle Amor. I'm gonna try and get Michelle Amor. I just didn't want to bother her during the DNC either. I know I can bother you because you're my co-host, but I didn't want to be like, I knew she would be too busy. So I was like, nah, let's just wait. And then I'll just do this one. And I feel like this episode was great, man. What did you think? Anything else you wanna? Anything else that we from the DNC? Final shout outs, final things, anything last things you want to say. What was your ultimate of the DNC this week that you were able to experience?
Actually it was pretty cool seeing Hakeem Jeffries. He showed up like every morning. We had like California delegate breakfast, and they had like a lot of guest speakers that came up, but to see him live and that close, that guy he's going to be the next awesome speaker. He deserves it. He's just an amazing voice for us, very just like poised, but like powerful. And just like it was a nice surprise to see him. So that was a nice little added bonus to everything we talked about. But Hakeem Jeffries he's a man. He's awesome.
Look at you name dropping. Look at you. Look at you. You're about Hollywood. You're more Hollywood than me. Hakeem Jeffries. All right, brother. We'll see you next episode, bro. Good job, man. Good job. Good work. Let's do this.
I don't think you want any problems, but you got one. Here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, it's summertime, starting up a heat wave, and now all weekend, hardly slept in 3 days. Whoever's driving the car's the DJ. When it's Q, you better pump that bass. The dominance is obvious, I guillotine, heads roll everywhere I go, I rep Philippines. Found my way, turn amaze to amazing. Infinite flows discovered in an ancient spaceship. I see things before they happen, visionary. Bury me inside a studio at the cemetery. My modus operandi not monetary. Noah Lazarus, the holy one out the monastery. So let me see your cue, plus the Y, that's the crew. I'm a giant, how I grew, still connected to my roots. Rhymes, I kick it like Bruce, got me feeling like Zeus. Standing tall like Manu, to reach this level need a boost. I don't think you want any problems, but you got one. Here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, smoother than Brazilian wax. That's interact. My life a cinematic reflection in the mirror max. With the pros, I'm proliferating. She said my syntax sounds so scintillating. Flavormatics on the beat, savory. Being scared, still doing it, that's bravery. Hunger turn us into savages. Ain't nobody give us nothing, had to do it alone, without a loan. Like Norfolk on Queens, Aquafina had the shell toe. Adidas used to hang with the drug dealers. Been doing this since cassette tapes in my Walkman, writing rhymes on the subway. Traditions I carry on, hip hop scholar, mastered in the street. Science, raw diamonds, have a finer. With the stars in alignment, got the youth to the truth. On the tree of knowledge, squeeze forbidden fruit and made it juice. I don't think you want any problems, but you got one. Here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Hey, I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you. I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you.